I heard Big Daddy Kane actually had hands, man. Somebody, I
He
forget
did. Big Daddy Kane was known to beat people up. He was like, you know, he just was hot-tempered. He definitely was known to put his hands.
Doing too much. I need the stage. I need the stage, Playboy. That ain't my problem.
Somebody had said something about Big Daddy Kane, and then like 30 minutes later, he's talking on the radio. Next thing you know, you hear, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, stop! Kane beat the on the air.
Ain't my problem. When people think of Big Daddy Kane, the image of some cold-hearted gangster or street tough usually isn't what pops up first. He's remembered as a hip-hop legend, a lyrical beast who helped shape the culture with his sharp flow and smooth style. But behind all that charm and swagger, there's a side of Kane that most fans never saw.
They had said something about Big Daddy Kane, and then like 30 minutes later, he's talking on the radio. Next thing you know, you hear, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, stop! And Kane beat that on the air.
Big Daddy Kane talked about it?
We heard him on the goddamn radio.
Mike, when was that?
In the 80s.
In the 80s?
A side that didn't play games, a side that could turn fierce in a heartbeat, just like how MC Hammer shocked everyone when folks found out he wasn't just a dancing machine but also a real one in the streets. Kane had that same unexpected edge. People in the game knew not to test him, and plenty can vouch for that. Take Mike Tyson, for example.
This is my man, JC.
The boxing icon once shared a wild story about a dude who decided to talk slick about Kane. Not even an hour later, while the guy was live on the radio, Kane rolled up on him and gave him a serious beatdown. Right there during the broadcast, when Tyson was asked if Kane ever confirmed it, he said the craziest part was that people could actually hear it going down live on air. And even if Kane never openly admitted to it, there's another moment that showed that same side of him.
Rocking the jewelry, rocking the suits, had the hairstyle, had the fade, you know what I mean, had the 3 cuts in his eyes, jewelry. Everything. Like I said, his flow was rock, man.
On August 26, 2023, at London's O2 Forum in Kentish Town, Kane headlined the massive Hip Hop 50 celebration. And trust, it was well-deserved. His impact runs deep in the culture, and that night proved once again why he's still one of the most respected names to ever touch a mic. The event also featured names like LG Onyx, Mazda Ace, and a few other heavy hitters. But things took a wild turn during Kane's set when footage showed a masked rapper suddenly walking onto the stage and standing right in front of the crowd like he owned the place. That mystery man turned out to be Comanche Sly from the UK group Hijack, and what happened next had everyone talking. At first, Kane kept it cool and let Sly do his thing, but after a minute, the energy shifted. Kane stopped the music, looked straight at Sly and said, "You're doing too much, Playboy. I need the stage. You're doing too much." The tension was thick. Then Kane gave him a light shove, just enough to send a message. But Sly didn't move an inch. Instead, he fired back with something that clearly set Kane off, and Kane hit him with, "That ain't my problem." In seconds, the vibe exploded. Kane started taking off his jacket, looking ready to throw down right there on stage before his team jumped in fast to calm things down. The crowd could feel the heat. It was pure chaos for a moment.
So what the heck? Just go take it.
The next day, on August 27th, Hijack went online to share their side of the story, and they weren't holding back. They blasted the DJs and promoters, accusing them of favoring the American acts and brushing off the UK talent. On Facebook, they wrote, "As per usual, the DJs and promoters of the show licked the Americans and disrespected UK side of the culture by not letting us perform. You were always unprofessional clowns." They added that since they were shut out, they decided to walk onto Kane's set and claimed he and they didn't like it. Their post didn't stop there. They called out the industry saying, "You promoters and DJs are the reason UK hip-hop never grew, playing UK hip-hop only in the last 5 minutes of your radio shows to cover your whack bit." Even though Kane wasn't the main target of their anger, his name still got caught right in the middle of the storm. Kane didn't let the drama shake him. He kept it calm and classy when asked about it later in an interview, making it clear that his main goal is about unity, not division. He said his focus is on building bridges between generations of artists, not walls. "We had our shot. We did our thing. We're still around, and we have a fan base that supports us for our catalog," Kane explained. "So we're not trying to threaten the younger generation, not trying to replace them. That's real talk right there. He even said he'd love to sit down with the likes of Lil Uzi Vert, Kodak Black, or Migos, any of those new wave stars, just to build something powerful together. Kane believes the culture grows stronger when the OGs and the new cats connect, when the past and future can trade wisdom and energy. He said it's about passing the game forward, not holding it back. But there's another side of Kane that always keeps people guessing. Over the years, whispers have floated around about him having ties to Brian Glaze Gibbs, one of New York's most notorious figures from back in the day, known for his time in the streets during the height of the city's drug wars. Whether that's true or not, it added another mysterious layer to Kane's legend, a reminder that he's always been more than what meets the eye. Still, beyond all the street talk and old rumors, Kane's heart has always been about lifting others up. Despite being one of the most respected MCs in hip-hop history, he never turned his back on those coming up behind him. He was known for spotting talent early and opening doors for them, like when he saw potential in a young Jay-Z. Kane used to bring him on tour, giving him that early shine before the world even knew his name.
You doing too much. I need the stage. I need the stage, Split. That ain't my problem. That ain't my problem.
Ice-T once shared a dope memory that showed just how deep Kane's influence ran in the game. He said, "I actually met Jay-Z with Kane. Kane brought Jay-Z over to my house. That's how far back their connection goes." Kane was literally introducing future legends before they were even famous. Kane later cleared up a common misconception, though. He said Jay-Z wasn't his hype man in the usual sense. He wasn't a hype man, Kane explained. He basically made cameo appearances on stage. When I would leave the stage to go change outfits, I would bring out Jay-Z and Positive K and let them freestyle until I came back. That move alone showed how much Kane believed in giving others a shot to shine. Jay-Z even showed up on Kane's 1994 track Show and Prove off the Daddy's Home album and appeared in the music video too. But that wasn't the only time Kane helped spotlight rising stars. He also gave early shine to Tupac and a then unknown Biggie Smalls, letting both of them freestyle during his set at Madison Square Garden. Imagine that, 3 future icons sharing the same stage before they even hit superstardom. Moments like those prove just how powerful Kane's reach was in hip-hop. His respect ran deep across every corner of the culture, but before Kane hit legendary status, he had to grind just like everybody else. Born on September 10th, 1968, in Brooklyn, New York, Kane came up in the heart of the city's hip-hop revolution. During high school, he met Mr. C, who would later become his DJ and one of the key players behind his rise to fame. Then in 1984, Kane linked up with Biz Markie and the two hit it off instantly. Their bond turned into a creative powerhouse. Kane even co-wrote some of Biz's most well-known rhymes. Both of them eventually joined the legendary Queens-based crew, the Juice Crew, led by iconic producer Marley Marl. And by 1987, Kane officially signed to Cold Chillin' Records, the label run by Tyrone Williams, Marley Marl's manager, and Len Berg, setting the stage for his takeover of the rap game. That same year, Kane came out swinging with his debut single, and it blew up fast, becoming an underground smash that had the streets buzzing. The name Big Daddy Kane itself came from a mix of pop culture inspirations. Kane, from the character played by David Carradine in the classic Kung Fu TV series, and Big Daddy, borrowed from Vincent Price's role in the 1963 film Beach Party. It was smooth, bold, and unforgettable, just like the man himself. Kane quickly built a reputation for his rapid-fire flow and razor-sharp delivery. What made it even crazier was that he pulled all that off while managing asthma, yet he still spit verses faster and cleaner than most rappers could dream of. His flow was electric, and it helped shape the sound and look of late 80s and early 90s hip-hop. He rocked the high-top fade, slick velour suits, and those massive four-finger rings that screamed confidence and style. Even his name carried power. It stood for King Asiatic, nobody's equal. That's not just a nickname, that's a statement. Then came the summer of 1988, when Kane dropped his debut album, Long Live the Kane. The project cemented his place in the culture thanks to timeless classics like Ain't No Half Steppin', which became an instant anthem. A year later, he leveled up again with his biggest album yet, It's a Big Daddy Thing. That record was loaded with smooth, funk-heavy, 70s-inspired samples and hits like Smooth Operator and the Teddy Riley-produced jam, I Get the Job Done, which climbed into the R&B top 40. Kane's style on the mic stayed flawless, confident, smooth, and full of rhythm. And to top it all off, he delivered one of his most memorable verses ever on Marley Marl's legendary posse, Cut the Symphony, spitting alongside his fellow Juice Crew members, proving once again that when Big Daddy Kane grabbed the mic, no one could touch him. Craig G, Master Ace, and Cool G Rap all stood beside him on The Symphony, locking Big Daddy Kane's spot among the all-time greats. By 1990, Kane wasn't just dominating the rap game, he was expanding his reach into new territory. That year, he landed a major feature on Public Enemy's Fear of a Black Planet, one of the most powerful and politically charged albums in hip-hop history. Kane appeared on the fiery track Burn Hollywood Burn alongside Chuck D and Ice Cube, three lyrical heavyweights taking aim at Hollywood's twisted portrayals of black people on screen, especially during the Jim Crow era. Kane came through with a verse that hit hard, calling out the way black women were often reduced to one-dimensional servile caricatures instead of being shown as professionals or leaders. He spit, "In black women in this profession, as for playing a lawyer, out of the question. For what they play, Aunt Jemima is the perfect term, exposing the deep-rooted racism baked into the film industry's image of black women." Decades later, that same bar still hits with truth. In 2020, nearly 30 years after Kane dropped that line, the company behind the Aunt Jemima brand finally removed her image from their packaging, a real-life reflection of the message he'd been preaching long before the world caught up. It proved just how sharp, aware, and ahead of his time Kane really was. And that fearless, boundary-pushing energy didn't stop there. In 1991, Kane teamed up with R&B legend Patti LaBelle for her Burnin' album, dropping a slick rap verse on the single, Feels Like Another One. His smooth delivery blended perfectly with LaBelle's powerful vocals, creating a track that showed how seamlessly hip-hop and soul could collide. The collab was a hit and showed a whole new side of Kane's artistry, proving that he wasn't just a lyricist, he was a chameleon who could jump across genres and still dominate every time he touched the mic. Kane kept proving that his talent could stretch way beyond hip-hop's borders. He even popped up on Patti LaBelle's live in New York video release, showing that his crossover power was the real deal. But his moves didn't stop there. Kane was making waves in film, too. He recorded the high-energy banger, Enough Respect, for the Juice soundtrack, the 1992 cult classic directed by Ernest Dickerson and starring Omar Epps and Tupac Shakur. That track was pure fire, fast, sharp, and explosive. Kane's signature rapid-fire flow matched perfectly with the movie's raw, street-heavy energy, making it one of those songs that hit just as hard as the film itself. Also in 1991, Kane's lyrical genius was finally recognized on one of the biggest stages in music, the Grammy Awards. He took home the trophy for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group, thanks to his feature on Quincy Jones' legendary track Back on the Block from the album of the same name. That song was a masterful celebration of black music and culture, blending jazz, R&B, and hip-hop all into one powerful anthem. Sharing the spotlight with some of the biggest names in the game, Kane proved once again that his talent wasn't confined to just one lane. He was respected by legends across every corner of the industry. As the 90s rolled on, Kane kept evolving. He stayed a lyrical powerhouse, but he wasn't afraid to take risks with his sound. He began experimenting with smoother R&B elements in his music, a bold move that drew mixed reactions from fans and critics. Some missed the old rugged energy, while others respected his artistic growth and confidence to try something new. At the same time, Kane's connection to the 5% Nation, a spiritual and philosophical movement, started shining more brightly through his lyrics. That shift brought him both praise for his depth and criticism from those who didn't fully understand the message, but Kane didn't care. He was speaking his truth, his way, and that's exactly what made him unforgettable. Sam, even though some people didn't fully connect with Kane's deeper lyrical direction or the 5% Nation influence in his music, his skill never slipped. Albums like Looks Like a Job for earned serious critical respect, but commercially they didn't quite reach the same massive heights as It's a Big Daddy Thing. Still, Kane never disappeared from the spotlight. He kept touring, rocking stages, and reminding the world why his name still carried weight in hip-hop. But Kane wasn't just about the mic. He started branching out big time. In 1993, he jumped into acting and made his film debut in Posse, a groundbreaking black western directed by Mario Van Peebles. Kane held it down in a strong supporting role, proving he could shine on the big screen too. That same year, he popped up again in Robert Townsend's superhero comedy The Meteor Man, showing his versatility and charisma in front of the camera. Of course, Kane was never one to shy away from a little controversy. During the 1990s, he shocked fans by posing for Playgirl magazine and later appearing in Madonna's bold and provocative coffee table book, Sex. The project featured a mix of celebrities and risque photo shoots, and Kane's inclusion definitely had people talking. It pushed boundaries, but it also showed just how fearless and confident he was when it came to expressing himself. In 1995, he linked up with MC Hammer and Tupac Shakur on the track Too Late Playa, also featuring Danny Boy, a rare and unexpected combo that showed the respect Kane still commanded across the industry. Around that same time, rumors started swirling about him possibly signing with Death Row East, a planned expansion of Suge Knight's infamous Death Row Records. The idea alone had fans buzzing, imagining what a Big Daddy Kane and Death Row collaboration could have sounded like. But in the end, the deal never happened. Kane didn't slow down, though. In 1997, he reunited with Frankie Cutlass and a few of his old Juice Crew fam on the track Cypher Part 3, a nostalgic throwback celebrating hip-hop's golden era. Then, in 1998, he dropped what would become his final solo studio album to date, closing out a decade of dominance, evolution, and pure artistry that helped shape the culture forever. Veterans Day marked another chapter in Kane's story, but it didn't quite hit like his earlier classics. The reviews were mixed, and the album didn't pull in the same commercial shine as his late 80s and early 90s hits. Still, Kane wasn't about to fade into the background. He never officially stepped away from hip-hop, not for a second. Through the 2000s and beyond, he kept jumping on features, rocking live shows across the world, and proving that his presence in the game was permanent. By the early 2000s, Big Daddy Kane had already shown that his legacy wasn't trapped in one era. He wasn't just an old-school rapper, he was timeless. In 2000, he dropped one of his most memorable late-career verses on Tony Touch's The Peacemaker mixtape, where he went bar for bar with fellow icons Cool G Rap and KRS-One. The energy was pure hip-hop, three lyrical titans trading heat and showing that the OGs could still dominate any beat. Around this time, Kane leaned deeper into collaborations, showing love to both the veterans and the new blood in the underground scene. He worked with golden-era legends and up-and-coming artists alike, always blending old-school soul with new-school fire. Kane linked up with acts like A Tribe Called Quest, the soulful storytellers Jurassic 5, conscious rap kings Little Brother, and even DJ Babu from the legendary turntablist crew, the Beat Junkies. It was proof that Kane wasn't just living off nostalgia, he was still pushing hip-hop forward, and he didn't stop there. Kane dropped two strong solo singles that reminded everyone his pen was still razor sharp. One was The Man, the Icon, produced by The Alchemist, a gritty, sample-heavy track that oozed confidence and skill. The other was Any Type of Way, produced by none other than DJ Premier, one of the greatest beatmakers in the game. On that track, Kane showed his maturity and perspective, reflecting on post-9/11 New York and the tough social and political climate that followed. He spit lines like Giuliani got in New York, painting a picture of a city in transition and a culture still fighting to keep its voice alive. Kane's words hit heavy, not just as rhymes, but as reflections from a legend who'd seen it all and still had something powerful to say. Kane's lyric, Looking Like It's Amistad, hit hard, referencing both the historic slave ship and the lingering sense of oppression that weighed heavy over New York during that era under the mayor's watch. That bar alone showed how deep Kane's pen could cut, mixing history, politics, and street insight all in one sharp line. Then, in 2003, Kane surprised everyone by stepping into a whole different lane. He teamed up with the British trip-hop group Morcheeba for their single, What's Your Name? A smooth, genre-blending track that proved Kane could slide onto any beat and still sound effortless. It showed off his fearless creativity and his ability to keep evolving while staying true to his roots. 2 years later, in 2005, the respect came full circle. VH1 officially honored Big Daddy Kane during their annual Hip Hop Honors Show, recognizing his monumental impact on the culture. The tribute was stacked, with modern-day heavyweights like T.I., Common, and Black Thought performing some of Kane's most iconic hits, each one influenced by his style, delivery, and blueprint for greatness. But the night truly exploded when Kane himself stepped out and took the stage. The moment he performed Warm It Up Kane alongside his original dancers, Scoob and Scrap Lover, the crowd went wild. The performance was pure magic, a throwback to an era when stage presence and mic skills mattered equally, and Kane showed he still had both in full force. In 2006, he kept that momentum going with more collaborations and high-energy appearances. He jumped on Get Wild Off This, a track produced by the UK duo Stanton Warriors for their Stanton Sessions volume. To mix, proving his global appeal was still alive and strong. And later that same year, Kane made history again when he hit the stage for a legendary moment during Hot 97 Summer Jam 2006, sharing the spotlight with hip-hop giants like the Wu-Tang Clan, Rakim, Q-Tip, and his longtime collaborator Busta Rhymes. It was a true celebration of the culture. The crowd could feel the legacy in the air, and Kane stood right there in the middle of it, a living legend still commanding respect every time he touched a mic. That epic Summer Jam performance was part of Busta Rhymes' powerful tribute to New York hip-hop, and of course, Kane's inclusion was no surprise. He was one of the city's original pillars, a foundational figure who helped build the sound, the swagger, and the standard of what New York rap stood for. As the years rolled on, Kane kept growing and reinventing himself while staying true to his essence. In 2013, he formed a live band called Last Supper, teaming up with R&B singer Showtime and the New York collective Lifted Crew. Together, they dropped the album Back to the Future on March 26, 2013, a project that blended live instrumentation, soul, and pure lyricism into a sound that felt fresh yet nostalgic. It was another reminder that Kane was never afraid to experiment or push the boundaries of hip-hop. Then in June 2020, Kane returned with a track that hit from the heart, a single titled Enough. It was his passionate and thought-provoking response to the ongoing crisis of police brutality and racial injustice that had the nation on edge. His words carried the weight of wisdom and pain, but also strength, proving that even decades into his career, Kane was still using his voice for truth and change. Today, Big Daddy Kane is celebrated as one of the most influential and technically gifted MCs ever to bless a mic. His precision, control, and delivery set a standard that generations of rappers have studied and admired. But it's not just his skills, it's his depth, his charisma, and his lasting impact that keep his name etched in hip-hop history. MTV ranked him number 7 on their list of the greatest MCs of all time, but that's not even the highest praise he's received. In Kool Moe Dee's landmark book, There's a God on the Mic, The True 50 Greatest MCs, Kane landed even higher at number 4, and About.com named him the 3rd greatest MC in their top 50 MCs of our time list. Every ranking, every shout-out, and every homage only proves what real ones already know. Big Daddy Kane isn't just part of hip-hop history, he is hip-hop history. Big Daddy Kane's influence runs so deep that hip-hop itself still echoes his style. His extraordinary impact and unmatched lyrical agility have earned him endless recognition, the kind that only true pioneers receive. In 2012, The Source, often called the Bible of hip-hop, ranked Kane at number 8 on their list of the top 50 lyricists of all time. That's no small feat considering how many legends have come and gone through the game. Even AllMusic, one of the most respected names in music journalism, praised Kane for his unmatched versatility and lasting legacy. They wrote that his best work ranks among the finest hip-hop of its era. And they weren't exaggerating. They spotlighted his silk-drenched persona, the smooth, confident player energy that influenced an entire generation of rappers who wanted to move, dress, and rhyme like him. Kane made cool look effortless, and that energy became part of hip-hop's DNA. AllMusic also described Kane as an enormously talented battle MC with near-peerless technique and razor-clean dexterity, breaking down just how sharp his lyrical sword really was. When it came to a mic battle, Kane didn't just perform, he dismantled opponents with poise, rhythm, and wordplay that left no room for competition. His verbal command, complex flow patterns, and magnetic stage presence set him apart, even in an era packed with icons and elite talent. Critics and fans alike agree that Kane's first 2 albums, Long Live the Kane, 1988, and It's a Big Daddy Thing, 1989, are undisputed hip-hop classics. These records didn't just define the sound of the late 80s, they helped shape the look and movement of the culture itself. Kane's range on those projects was unreal, from rapid-fire lyrical flexes and street tales to love joints and party anthems that kept crowds moving. Rolling Stone later echoed that same respect, highlighting how Kane has received consistent critical praise across decades. They described him as one of the rare artists whose work continues to stand the test of time, both in public love and critical acclaim. Kane's legacy isn't just in the songs he made, it's in the confidence, style, and precision that became the standard for what a true MC should be. To wrap it all up, The Ultimate Guide to Hip Hop and R&B by Cameron and Devin Lazar perfectly sums up Big Daddy Kane's legacy. They wrote that Kane is widely seen as one of the best lyricists of his time, and what's wild is, even today, his name still gets dropped by the new generation of rappers. That kind of long-lasting respect shows just how deep his influence runs through modern hip-hop. Kane didn't just leave a mark, he carved his name into the foundation of the culture. Respected music journalist Peter Shapiro took it even further, calling Kane perhaps the most complete MC ever. That's a massive statement, and it says it all. Shapiro wasn't just talking about Kane's lyrics, but also his performance, charisma, innovation, and the way he influenced everyone who came after him. Kane had it all: the look, the voice, the delivery, and the confidence that made him stand out in any era. And his reach didn't stop with the golden age. Even modern legends have paid homage. Eminem, one of the most technically gifted and commercially successful rappers alive, name-dropped Kane in his track Yellow Brick Road off the Encore album. A clear nod from one lyrical titan to another. From industry OGs and hip-hop historians to today's chart-topping MCs, Big Daddy Kane remains a symbol of excellence, a true pioneer and an everlasting giant in the game. His music, his presence, and his attitude continue to shape what it means to be a real MC. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of hip-hop's greatest legends, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. Let's keep the legacy of Big Daddy Kane alive and celebrated.